Yo, what's going on, snipers, and welcome back to our Winnipeg Jets franchise mode here in NHL 24. So in last episode, we took on the St. Louis Blues in the first round of the playoffs, and we completely dominated them. We won in 4 games, which was kind of a surprise because we thought we were going to get swept considering we won the President's Trophy. But we're up here into round 2 with a dominant first round victory, and I'm hoping obviously that it can continue, but I feel like since we swept the first round, we're going to get swept ourselves in the second round considering how we did it. Because if we look here at our player stats from round 1, you could see that everybody on this team contributed to that first round victory. You had a lot of guys above a point per game. You had a bunch of guys that were just around point per game. Like, everybody on this team contributed very greatly to the first round victory. And then also goaltending wise, Gabriel Dag was very good in the first 3 games. He wasn't as good in game 4, but he was still very good throughout the most of the series. So hoping that obviously this team can continue this role, because if they can, this team might be unstoppable, which would be great. But at the same time, winning the President's Trophy, I feel like we're definitely not going to win the Stanley Cup. So I'm definitely expecting us to get eliminated here in this round, next round, or we're just going to get completely crapped on in the finals. But I don't know if we have much of a chance against Chicago, because we are going to be taking on Chicago here in the second round, led by obviously Connor Bedard. They are a pretty solid team. They would be probably, in my opinion, a little bit worse than St. Louis was, but they are still a good team because they do have like Nick Ehlers. They have won Stanley Cups in the last few years, I think, as well. But you could say like Ehlers, there's Bedard, Connor Garland, very good top line. Second line is also pretty solid, a little bit weaker on the left side and down in the middle, but they are very strong on that right hand side with like Holtz, Guerin. So yeah, it's a pretty good forward core. From a defensive standpoint, they're actually pretty good as well. You can see like this defensive core is one of the better ones we've faced. They actually have like a legit top 4 for the most part and a legit top 6, and then their goaltending is also pretty good too. So it is going to be a tough team to beat, I'd say, but hopefully we can find a way to beat Connor Bedard. He's only 25 at this point, so he definitely still has a long career ahead of him, and you can see that he's already at 702 career points in 648 games, and he's over point per game in the playoffs. It looks like last year is when they won the Stanley Cup, considering he played 25 games with 29 points. So definitely we have to try and get through a defending Cup champion, which is going to be pretty tough. But like I was saying with the round against St. Louis, we actually completely dominated. Like, I'm not even joking when I say dominated, because look at these 4 games: 7-2, 6-2, 4-1, and an 8-5. So we were scoring, I think it said like 6.25 goals per game, which is insane. I don't think I've ever had a performance like that in the first round where we score that much goals. So I don't expect it to really continue against Chicago since they're better defensively, but you never know what could happen with this team. But anyways, let's get to your guys' comments and see what you guys have to say about our first round victory, and then we will get into the second round against the Chicago Blackhawks. So the only comment is from Michael Dose, who says, saw how short this video was and was worried until I saw the first game. Maybe they make a deep run, and there is a chance that we could make a deep run this year, but at the same time there is also a chance that we get like completely crapped on at some point in the series. Like, I think it could be this series against Chicago, because they are obviously being the defending Cup champions. They actually are a lot better than they look, maybe too. But I feel like we're definitely going to get swept, or it might be a series that goes 7 games. But I feel like after we swept that first round, did it in convincing fashion, that somehow we're just going to get slapped in the face eventually by another team. So winner of this series will take either on Anaheim or Edmonton in the conference finals. You still have also the Rangers and Devils, and Boston and Buffalo. So there is your playoff matchups. So let's get into the first game of round 1, or not round 1, round 2. Damn, I still wish it was round 1 in a sense, but at the same time, we're into round 2. So let's see if we're able to knock out Chicago. They went to 7 games in the first round, so they might be a little bit tired, but at the same time, they might have their legs underneath them, because we've had a lot of days of rest. We have not played in over a week, so who knows? Maybe Chicago is a little bit more prepared for this game. So here we go. Game 1 on home ice. We'll have home ice advantage still for the entire playoffs, however long that be. Let's see if we could get off to a good start here, just like last series. First period of game number 1. And 2-0 us. Hey, we start off good again. That's exactly kind of how we started off the first round, if I remember right. I think we had like 2 goals in the opening period. Michael Misa and Aiden Irving. Aiden Irving's been fantastic so far. 10 points through 5 games. and 15 shots for us. After one, they had 9 shots, so we dominated the first period in terms of flow. Hopefully we could just keep it consistent and have a good effort in the second period, because we've been doing very well up to this point at scoring goals, and also their defensive play has been good except for that last game against the Blues. Second period. 3-2. Yeah, I knew they were going to eventually get back on the board. Lucius made it 3-0, but Connor Bedard, like I said, we need to contain this guy. He has 2 goals in this game already, and we're only up by 1 goal going into the third period, which is pretty scary at this point. Shots are 26-20 in favor of us. Can we hold off Bedard and the Chicago Blackhawks for a period and escape with a victory here? Come on, boys. Let's do it for our fans. We're on home ice for a reason. Let's get it done for them. Let's get some insurance. Oh, my goodness. Caden Bankier, of all people, ties the game at 3. Penalty kill. Nicely done, boys. Oh, I knew it. Jake Neighbors, 4-3. Can we get it back, though? No, we can't. Alex Holt makes it 5-3. And Gabriel Zeg has had 2 bad games in a row here, because his last game against St. Louis wasn't very good either, and we lose 5-3 despite having a 3-1 lead at one point, I think it was. Connor Bedard rallies his team and rallies the troops, so we got to definitely keep Connor Bedard off the board if we actually want to win games, because without Connor Bedard, that would have been I guess that would have been a tie game still, but still, Connor Bedard is the reason they won that game. So Misa from Alenius and Stankoven, Irving from Stankoven and Misa, and then Lucius from Irving and Perfetti, and then we blow a 3-0 lead, actually. Bedard with the both goals, and then Bankier tied the game up. Neighbors gave them the lead, and Alex Holtz gave them insurance. So, yeah, I'm not really too sold on the play of Gabriel Dag the last few games. Also, our defensive play needs to be much better. Like I said, though, I feel like we're going to get slapped in the face, considering we slapped St. Louis, and they looked much better than they actually were, apparently. Yeah, Gabriel Dag was awful in that game. If he plays bad for another game, there's a chance I might give him some rest, because maybe he's getting a little bit tired. I don't know if I should make some line adjustments, considering we've allowed 5 goals in back-to-back games, because that's a lot of goals to give up, 10 goals in 2 games. You know what? We're already going to do some line adjustments, I think, just to kind of maybe take a chance that our team will be better with these adjustments. So let's see what we could do here. I just don't know exactly what we want to do. Irving's been fantastic so far. I'm going to move him to the top 9 line with Misa and Helenis. Stankoven will play with Perfetti and Lucius. And then bottom 6-wise, I might take Yakl out of the lineup. Yeah, I think I'm going to take Yakl out of the lineup if there's a guy that I want to use to replace him. Just trying to think of who our depth options are. Oh, Knack and LaFerriere. I guess maybe putting in a more defensive-minded player wouldn't be a bad idea. 79, two-way forward. 82 on defense. I guess we'll go with Knack then. So we'll put Simon Knack into that spot, which means Yakl is going to be scratched for a game just to try and help out that defensive play on that bottom line. From a defensive standpoint, I don't think there's really much we can do. I might go back with McAvoy and Vandermeer and then Palin and Kyrou. Yeah, I think something like that could work. And then Gabriel Dag will get another chance. If he plays bad, we might try Eustace and Noonan for a game, which would be interesting. So a little bit of change to our lineup, not too much, because obviously this team is still very good and they won the President's Trophy. But at the same time, the playoffs are a different animal. So let's see if we could tie this series up, because if we lose our first 2 games on home ice headed to Chicago, we're kind of in a little bit of a bind there. And then we need to win both games in Chicago if we want to get back into the series. So here we go, game number 2. Let's see if we could have a good response and keep Connor Bedard off the board, because that would be great. First period of game number 2. 1-0 us. Hey, that's a good start. Again, Thomas Galvis scores. I love to see it. Shots are 11-11, so pretty even first period, but we're the one to break the deadlock. Can we get some insurance in the second period and play better than last game in the second period? Because that's where Chicago started to come back into the game, was the second period last time. So let's see if we could get some insurance in period 2. Second period. 4-0. There you go, boys. There you go. Michael Misa, Consta Hellenius, and what's Groshek's first name again? I'm drawing a complete blank on Groshek's first name. Philip, right? Yeah, I think it's Philip Groshek. There's just too much F names and stuff like that that are like Chechen and stuff like that, like Frantisek and all that. So I was confused for a second, but we're out shooting them. No, we're not out shooting them. They're out shooting us 26-25. So a good response from Gabriel Dag. which is exactly what we need kind of from him. He needs to have those kind of bad games maybe once in a while, but he also needs to respond to them, and so far he's doing that. Let's see if we could lock this game down. In the third period, they get a goal immediately on the power play from Dante Guerin. Power play for us. And it's a long one, but we do not score. Penalty kill. Stop giving them power plays, boys. We don't need them to claw back into this game. Final 5 minutes of this third period. And there's a big goal from Christian Cairo to make it 5-1. And we are going to respond with a good offensive effort again and a good defensive effort. So we're kind of back to where we were when we were playing St. Louis, which is great. Final shots were 39-30, which is great too. Okay, so we have a 1-1 series headed to Chicago, which is a really great thing, obviously, because it's I guess the best of whoever gets the 3 wins first. Okay, so Galvis from Perfetti, that was his first goal of the playoffs, so shout out to Galvis. Misa from McAvoy, Hellenius from Cairo, Misa, Groshek from Keg, Rodolph and Vandermeer, and Cairo from Stankoven and Lucius. So we got a lot of different players picking up points in this one, which is definitely a strength of our team. Has been our depth scoring is really good, and oh no, I hope Irving did not get injured. He only played 4 minutes in that game, because if he got injured, that is a substantial blow to this team. So that's not great, but Gabriel Dag was fantastic in that one. He gets first star of the game, Misa the second star, and Cairo the third star. So did Irving get injured? Please don't. Hopefully it was just a minor tear. Hey, it was just a minor day-to-day thing, and he will be back for game 3, which is good. Whew, I got a little bit worried there because losing him would not be great. Okay, we have a tie series, and we just played a great game, so I guess we'll keep the team the exact same and see if we can win some games in Chicago, because if we can win at least one of these games, we'll still be in a good spot. If we lose both these games, we're going to be in a bad spot. If we win both games, we're going to be in a really good spot. So let's see if we could have another good, solid game and have back-to-back good games. We did 3 straight good games against St. Louis, so it would be nice to get that going against Chicago here in Chicago. First period of an all-important game 3. And we're down 2-0 for a change. Not great. This might be one of our worst periods I've seen. Ehlers scores and Garland scores. Of course, that would be Nick Ehlers starting the show. Shots are 13-6 in favor of Chicago. And we're down by a pair of goals after 1. We need to have a good response to that, because we didn't generate enough offense in that first period. And goaltending was okay, I guess, to keep us in it. But we gave up 2 goals. So we need to be much better in the second period. Second period. Hey, there we go, boys. Let's go. What a period from the team. Okay, I was not expecting that. So Irving makes it 2-1. Holtz makes it 3-1 for Chicago. But then Jacquezie and Lucius score, both 8 seconds apart, which is crazy. And we have tied the game up at 3 with the shots 20-19. So this is a pretty even game up to this point. But huge 2 goals in those final 5 minutes by the club as we go into the third period with a tie game. Let's see what happens in period 3, see if we could get that lead, because we have not had the lead yet in this game. Come on, boys, let's complete that comeback. That would be awesome. Bedard scores for them. We have to keep Bedard off the puck, boys. We got to throw him into the bench or something and hope that he never gets out. Final 5 minutes of the third period, down by a goal because of Bedard. Can we tie it up, please? And no, we can't. Connor Bedard, once again, the difference maker in this one. And once again, we're trailing in the series just because of that last goal. Damn, man, that sucks. That was a good game for our team to come back in that second period, but we didn't show up any fight in that third period. Final shots were 30-28 in favor of Chicago. We had a good second period, but we weren't really that great in the first or the third. So Irvin from Misa and Hellenius, Jacquezzi's first from McLeod and Galvis, and then Lucius from Stankoven and Perfetti. Okay, a lot of players on 1 point. Anybody even badly minus? Palin and Cairo. Okay, so that's second pairing. And then, yeah, Gabriel Dag back to not doing too well. He's a bit inconsistent for my liking right now. We need to find that one goaltender that's in the playoffs that can just win a lot. But right now, Gabriel Dag's pretty inconsistent. We kind of need to win this game, or else we're going to have to win 3 in a row, which is going to be kind of tough. But we are a very good team, so there is a chance we'd be able to do it. But obviously, I don't want to put that pressure on our team. So let's make some more defensive adjustments, because that one defensive pairing was not very good in the last game. which was Palin and Kyrou. So I think we'll go back to Kyrou on the top one and go back to Palin with McAvoy. Maybe we could split up Vernarski and Galvis. How have they been together? They've actually been really good, so we'll keep them together for sure. And yeah, just go back to our original defensive pairings. And yeah, we'll keep with Gabriel Zeg still for now because he's our guy. But I'm hoping that our team could kind of get a good response in the next game for sure. Yeah, I think we'll keep the rest of this the same. Yeah, wow. Our depth down the middle is amazing. Like, this is one of the best looking teams I've ever put on paper, I think, in terms of just like depth down the middle and on the wings and defensive core, goaltending wise. Like, we have a very good team, but obviously it doesn't really matter when it comes to the playoffs. The playoffs are a different animal completely, so we need to win this game. I don't want to fall down 3-1 to Chicago, or else they definitely have a good chance of beating us. If we win this game, though, then it becomes a best of 3. So let's see if we could have a good response after they won that game just barely last game. Let's see if we could do it. We got to win in Chicago to get it done, so let's see what happens. First period of a very important game, number 4. And we're up 1-0. Hey, that's a good start. Philip Grosek on the power play. Our power play has been actually pretty good in this playoff so far, considering I've had playoffs before. I think it was in my Draft to Glory series where it was just not doing anything all the way up to like the Stanley Cup Finals. So you never know with these teams how good their power plays are going to be and all that type of thing, even with all that skill level too. But this power play has been really good. Shots are 9-7 for us. After one, we're up by a goal. Can we get some insurance in the second period to make me feel a little bit more safe going into that third? We've had not so great second periods in the past. Like, we did have a good second period last game, so it would be nice to have another good one. But in the, like, I think it was in game 1 was when we had a really bad second period. So we got to have a little bit more consistency to our game. Let's see if we could add some goals in the second period. Still 1-0. Hey, that's good, but we are out shooting them 26-13, so we're completely dictating the play. But their goaltender's keeping them in this game, which makes me feel like they're going to score a goal immediately to start the third period. But I'm hoping that is obviously not the case. So we're off to a good start this game, but we do need to start converting on more shots if possible. Let's see if we could get some insurance early in the third to potentially give us a better chance at winning this game. Come on, boys. Let's get that insurance. Who wants to be the guy to get us insurance, please? Maybe Kagorodov. Hey, Charlie McAvoy. Let's go. Okay. The vet makes it 2-0. That's a huge goal from Charlie. And then Noah Gregor gets Chicago on the board. Not great. Final 5 minutes. Penalty kill. Please kill it off, boys. Nicely done. Penalty kill again. Stop taking penalties late in the game. We killed it off too. And we escaped with the 2-1 victory because of Charlie McAvoy. You know, that's probably how people from Massachusetts say him, is Charlie. Final shots are 32 apiece, so they had a very good third period, but we managed to hold them off because of those great penalty kills late in the game, and we have a tie series once again. This is definitely a series that could go 7 games based on how it's going so far, but it could also go to 6, I guess. Philip Grosek's 5th of the playoffs from Lucius and Misa, and McAvoy's first goal of the playoffs from Helenas and Misa, so it's good to see McAvoy show up when it matters most. Hopefully he can continue to get going a little bit. And another great game from Gabriel Zeg. So he's kind of been like one bad game, one good game, one bad game, one good game, which is very not what I like in a sense, because I like to have a goaltender that I could actually read in how good they actually are, so I know if I want to play them or not. But with Dag, I just never know what's going to happen with him, if he's going to have a great game or a terrible game. He gets first star though, Blomqvist the second star, and McAvoy the third star. Okay, so we have a tie series headed back home, which is huge. Both teams losing a game on their home ice. If we're able to win this game, we set ourselves up for the chance to win the series in Chicago. We lose this game, they have a chance to win on home ice. But there is a chance that we could all honestly find ourselves back into a Game 7 scenario. We are 6-2 in the playoffs so far. Chicago is 6-5. You can see that Anaheim and Edmonton are tied at 2. Buffalo's up 3-1 on Boston, which is pretty crazy. And New Jersey and New York are tied at 2 as well. So do I want to keep my lineup the exact same? I think I do. We've been a little bit inconsistent defensively, but in general, I've liked how our team has played these last few games. So 3 of our last 2, I like how we've played in 2 of our last 3 games, which is better. So yeah, I'm going to keep the team the exact same for this game. We have won 1 game on home ice so far. If we win this one, we're in potentially a good spot. Let's see if we could do it and see if Gabriel Dag could have 2 good consistent games, because that would be huge for us. First period of Game 5. Whoever wins this game takes the lead in the series and has a chance to close out the other team. First period. Scoreless. I'll take it. That's a good first period defensively. Shots are 13-9 in favor of Chicago. Last game was a pretty good defensive effort for both teams, with the the goals being 2-1. So this might be a very similar game in a sense where it's like a 2-1 victory or a 3-1 victory because of an empty net, something like that, my guess. Let's see if we could get a game's first goal in the second period, because I feel like this second period will be crucial. If nobody scores in this period, third period is going to be a nerve-wracking one. So let's see what happens in the second, see if we could grab that lead. Second period. 3-1 for us. Let's go. Vernarski starts the scoring. Sean Monahan tied it up for them on the power play, but then we get a power play goal of our own from Michael Misa, and Grosek gives us a 2-goal advantage going into the third. We're being outshot 27-19, but we're up by a pair of goals. Gabriel Dag is starting to find his game a little bit more, looks like. Hopefully he has a good third period ahead of him, but we're up by a pair of goals, and we are a period away from being one game away from the conference finals, obviously. Let's see if we're able to do this and lock this down, and in Game 6, see if we could shut them out in Chicago, which would be very tough, but we could see if we could do that. Come on, boys, you got this. I believe in you. We have the experience factor now at this point, and we're a very good young team at this point, too. Into the final 10 minutes of the third period, still up by a pair of goals, which is huge. Final 5 minutes. Looks like we are going to lock the Blackhawks down. Stankov in the empty net goal. I haven't seen him a lot this round, so that's kind of weird. But we win 4-1 with another very good defensive effort. Final shots 38-32, as Gabriel Dag has all of a sudden found his game again like he did in the first round for those first 3 games. And now we just need to win one more game, and then we're headed ourselves to the conference finals. So Vernarski from Misa and Irving, Misa from Stankoven, Grosek from Kagrodov, and Stankoven from Lucius and McAvoy. So we are 1 win away, with Gabriel Dag getting first star for the second straight game, Michael Misa the second star, and Stankoven the third. Let's go. 1 win away, huh? That's pretty awesome. Can we get ourselves to that conference finals? And it would either be against Anaheim or Edmonton, which right now it's looking like Anaheim, potentially, if that becomes the case. Buffalo has beaten Boston, so Buffalo's going to the conference finals, and the Rangers have a chance to eliminate the Devils. I think we got to keep the team the exact same. The last 3 of the last 4 games, we've allowed only 1 goal in them, so we're back to our great defensive hockey that we had in the first round. I think we got to keep rolling with it, so... Can we close out Chicago in their home arena? Last time we were in Chicago, we won 2-1. Obviously, if we lose this game, we go back to a Game 7 scenario back on home ice, which will be interesting to see what happens there. But this would be huge if we could win here and knock out Connor Bedard. Let's see if we could do it. This is the defending Cup champions as well, so you know that they're going to show a little bit of resiliency. Let's see if we could respond to that well, though. Come on, boys, you can do it. I believe in you. First period of Game 6. 3-0 us. Let's go. What a start for the team. Obviously, I'm kind of scared because there's still 40 minutes left in this one, but Stankoven 1-0, Perfetti 2-0, and Grosek 3-0. That's 3 goals on 12 shots. As Blomqvist might be pulled by now. There's a chance of that, but maybe he's still in net. But a very good first period from this team. If we could have a good lockdown second period, I would be really happy with that, because we don't technically need more offense, but it would be nice. But obviously the defensive play would be very nice as well, considering we've been playing great defensively the last little bit too. So let's see what happens in the second period, see if we could lock them down in that second period. 4-1, let's go. Garland made it 3-1, so they were kind of back in the game at that point. And Ryan McLeod with another shorthanded goal. I swear this guy has like 2 or 3 shorthanded goals this playoff run already at this point in time. Shots are 26-20, and we are a period away from going to the conference finals. Can we lock down Chicago and get ourselves there? Let's see what happens. I'm really surprised our team's actually able to win here in the playoffs so far. Jacuzzi makes it 5-1. I think that kind of guarantees it. But, yeah, I didn't expect our team to be able to do this type of thing in the playoffs after winning the President's Trophy. But we're going to a conference finals, which is interesting. Does that mean we have a chance at winning a Stanley Cup this year after we won a President's Trophy? Potentially. but obviously it could still come crashing down. We win 5-1. That's our third straight game where we only allow 1 goal in it. What a performance from Gabriel Deg those last few games. Final shots 35-33 as we take out Chicago and the defending Cup champions. So long, Connor Bedard. Stankoven from Irving and Misa, Perfetti from Stankoven and Lucius, Groshek from Misa and Kegorodov, McLeod from Stankoven and McAvoy, and Jaqueezi from Knack and McLeod. I honestly forgot we even put Knack into the lineup. That feels like ages ago at this point. Deg gets first star, Stankoven the second star, and McLeod the third star. But yeah, putting Knack in the lineup might have helped us out defensively a lot on that fourth line. Oh no, that's not great. Christian Cairo has injured his knee. Let me just go replace player for a second, but he will miss, I think, early part of next round. We are going to be taking on Anaheim in the conference finals. That's interesting. And yeah, Christian Cairo will miss game 1 at least. He might miss game 2 as well, which is a little bit of a big blow to our defensive core. Let me go to edit lines here and just make sure that that our defensive core is set up properly still for next game and next episode. Nordstrom on the top pairing's not bad. He was actually an okay defenseman last time, and I do like the chemistry. So you know what, we're gonna keep it like that. Nordstrom will just go right in the exact spot where Cairo was, so we'll do that. But yeah, that definitely hurts to lose Cairo for a few games. Let's take a look at our player stats after round 1. Or not round 1, round 2. Jeez, I am completely out of it for some reason. And then we'll see what Anaheim's looking like. Obviously, whoever beats each other will face either the Rangers or Sabres in the conference finals. So that's going to be interesting. Let's take a look at our player stats here so far. Wow, our depth scoring is great still. So Stankoven on 14 points. Lucius on 13. Same with Michael Misa. Then you have Perfetti on 11 points. Luke Misa on 6. And then Ryan McLeod on 5. And Kegorodov on 5. Ryan McLeod, I think, has 2 shorthanded goals, right? Yeah, 2 shorthanded goals this playoff run for Ryan McLeod. That's exactly why I brought him in. Great defense and a guy that could help out on the shorthanded department. Left wing wise, Groshek only has 7 goals but no assists, but still great goal scorer so far here this playoff run. He's definitely breaking out a bit. Irving on 14 points, Hellenius on 10, Jaqueezi on 4, Yakala on 1 and 5, but he was -2, so that's why we took him out. And Knack has done the exact same type of thing, but better plus minus. So I think Yakala is going to stay out of the lineup for a little bit still. From a defensive standpoint, McAvoy on 9 points, Cairo on 8 points, Vandermeer on 4, Galvis on 3, Fernarski on 2, and Palin on 1. Love to see a great plus minus across the board as well. And in goaltending wise, Gabriel Deg is up to a .926 save percentage and a 2.31 goals against average. So in general, if we look here at our skaters, you can see our depth scoring has been great up to this point in time. If we even look at like the goals department, everybody on this team has scored a goal almost except for 4 guys. 2 of them are defensemen, 1 of them is a scratch guy, and 1 of them is a guy that just got thrown into the lineup. So everybody on this team is contributing greatly to this team. And we have everybody on our roster that is plus as well, in plus minus, except for Yakala, who is scratched now. So that's pretty great. So a very good first 2 rounds, which is kind of surprising considering, like I said, I thought we were going to be knocked out in the first round, but we have definitely shown some resiliency at keeping up with that President's Trophy that we had in the regular season. Now the question is, what are the Ducks looking like? Okay, this is a very good team, and they could easily win a Stanley Cup, which is not great. This is definitely going to be, I think, our toughest task yet. So first line, Leo Carlson, Trevor Zegras, and Troy Terry. Very good top line. Second line has Ryder Ritchie, Yanni Koivisto, who's 21 years of age, was drafted second overall a few years ago, and Mason McTavish, who's coming back from injury. Third line, Milano, McBain, and Tomasino. Very good third line for a bunch of 83s. And a fourth line of Emil Bemstrom, Callum Ritchie, and Maxime Comtois. Is Callum and Ryder Ritchie any relation? Probably not. They look like they played in different CHL leagues, but still, that's kind of funny that they have 2 Ritchies. That's a very good forward core, though. One of the best I've seen on paper. How about their defensive core? It's very good, too. Pavel Mintyukov and Jamie Drysdale, because obviously this franchise mode started before he got dealt to Philadelphia. Alexander Carrier, Olin Zellweger, Juha Lapalainen, okay, and Tristan Luneau. So that defensive core is very good. just as good as their offense in a sense. Like, very good depth on the left side. Right wing side is a little bit weaker, but it's still very good because these guys are legit like top 4 and top 6 defenders. Goaltending wise, they have Lucas Dostal, our former goaltender, went back to Anaheim again. And he's been insanely good this playoff run. Holy crap, man. 8-1-1 with a .955. So we might get destroyed by our former backup goaltender. Maybe we should have held on to Dostal a little bit longer. And they do have Arvid Soderblom as the backup. In terms of scratches, they have Eno Pekarainen. Ville Heinola is there. That's where Ville Heinola went. Why is he scratched, though? They must have made a trade that brought in a better defender or something. But Ville Heinola is there as a scratch. And Dylan Holloway, former teammate of Ryan McLeod. So, yeah, that's an interesting team. Very good team on paper. How did they simulate during the regular season, and how did they simulate so far through this playoff run? Because that's one more question I have about their team, and then that'll be it for this episode. We could kind of call this almost, in a sense, if this was the original Winnipeg Jets, we could call it the Team of Solani Bowl, but since we are technically the Thrashers, that doesn't really make any sense. But let me see. So Anaheim was the 6th best team in the league. We were number 1, obviously. They were scoring less goals per game than us. They were actually right around the same defensively than us during the regular season. Their power play was pretty good at 25%. Their penalty kill was better than ours. Okay. Kind of makes sense. How about playoff-wise so far up to this point? How have they been in terms of everything? Let's see. So both of us are 8-2. We're scoring 4.7 goals per game. They're scoring 3.3. They're allowing 1.4. We're allowing 2.3. That's crazy that they're only allowing 1.4 through 10 games. So both teams great defensively and also could bring the offense a bit. Their power play is 18.5%. Ours is 28.6% right now. So our power play has been living on cloud 9. Their penalty kill, though, is very good. 94.1 to our 85.2. So if our power play could outscore or do good on their penalty kill, we should be able to win games. But obviously, if their penalty kill plays like it's been doing so far, and their defense obviously as well plays like it's been doing so far, we're going to run into some problems. We do have 3 shorthanded goals up to this point. We're 4-1 on home ice and on the road. They are 5-0 on the road and 3-2 on home ice. So they're a very good road team or a very good home team. One of those things definitely has to change in the conference finals. So anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this episode of our Winnipeg Jets franchise mode. So in next episode, we will take it to the conference finals against the Anaheim Ducks as we look to get to a cup finals with this young team that just won a President's Trophy and has kind of surprised me so far up to this point in time. So anything down below, and I'll see you guys next time.